Mr. Lund, as we take a look at some of the vehicles that got good ratings from your organization, some 21 of them, can you tell me why these specifically made the top grade?
Well, the vehicles that get the good ratings in our test are ones that, first of all, have head restraints that are tall enough and close enough to the back of the head that they're in position to protect you. And then in our dynamic test, where we simulate a 20-mile-an-hour rear impact, what we see are the seats and the head restraints work well together to support the head so that the neck doesn't get injured.
Meanwhile, over half of the SUVs and minivans and pickups did not get good reviews. What's wrong with those?
What we saw in that case was that the seat and the head restraint didn't work well together. Often what we saw was that the dummy, which acts like a human being, kind of rode up in the seat, and the head actually got above the head restraint, stretching the neck and distorting it, and that's how you get whiplash injuries.
Why did you all focus on rear collisions?
Well, rear collisions are a very common event in real-world traffic. You know, we're all out there in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and you're stopped at a traffic light and somebody runs into you from behind. We see more than 2 million of these kinds of injuries each year.
So a good head restraint, I understand, is even more important than a good airbag, although obviously you recommend both.
Absolutely. Obviously, if you're in a serious crash, you want to have an airbag to prevent serious and potentially fatal injuries. But these rear collisions that cause whiplash injury with your neck happen so frequently, you're much more likely to need your head restraint than you are your airbag.
A lot of families will be heading out for the 4th of July holiday. You all didn't test the head restraints in back seats. How come?
No, we didn't test the rear seat. Partly because whiplash injury is less of a problem in the rear seat, and we think that that's largely because the people who are usually in the rear seat tend to be smaller. Often there are children, and the seat backs and the head restraints are adequate to protect most of those people.
Even if someone has a head restraint in their vehicle that did not get a good rating, there are things they can do to help ensure their safety, can't they?
Absolutely. To help assure that you get the proper protection, even in one of the seats that we rate good, you should check and make sure that your head restraint is tall enough so that it's at least as high as the top of your ears or even higher, and make sure that it's close to the back of your head, no more than the width of your fist between the back of your head and your head restraint. That will assure that the head restraint can protect you if you get struck from the rear.
Adrian Lund. Mr. Lund, thanks so much.
Thank you, Katie.